Ellis.
Hello.
How are you?
Good, thank you. How are you?
Really good. I've got to say, first Essex girl. Big up to Essex. Come on.
Oh my God, okay. Pressure.
Where in Essex are you from? Are we neighbours?
I'm Romford.
Okay, so I'm not a million miles out. I'm Brentwood way. So we're neighbours.
Yeah, you're in a bit posher part.
No, not at all. Thank you for doing this today. I have to say, I am a big fan. I follow you online. I love your styling. I love how you style yourself, but of course, other people, which is what we're going to be talking about today. But I just want to know, like, a bit of background info on you. Were your family, like, really stylish and into clothes growing up? Where did you sort of get your inspiration from?
I always loved fashion. My aunt she was a PR, but she was a PR to Philip Green. She did Tammy Girls. So she was always heavily into fashion. My mum was very stylish, but at the time when you're at school, I was like, no, she had these pair of trousers and they had a dog on the bum and a chain, and everyone else's mums were wearing just a white tee and black trousers, and I'd be like, no, not the trousers, please. Whereas now I'm like, have you still got those trousers? Because I'd really love to wear them. So I love that. I sort of was always around fashion. My dad said his favourite thing to do was watch my aunt walk into a room because her outfits were so mad that everyone would stare. So I think I was always around it.
Do you know what's mad? That it's so true what you say, because when you're younger, I mean, I don't know if you were the same as me, but I was such a shy kid and I'd almost like want to sort of blend into the background. And actually, my mum and dad would like push me to wear stuff that not everybody else was wearing. Like they'd take us to Camden Market, like in the school holidays and stuff. So I always had different clothes on, but I never appreciated it when I was younger because I just used to get embarrassed and didn't want to be that kid that stood out. So now the fact that you want her clothes is just brilliant.
I know, but you do, don't you? I remember I was desperate for a Nicholson polo. Desperately wanted one, and my mum was like, absolutely not. You are not wearing one of them. So I made my granddad get me one, and she was furious, but yeah, it wasn't. And now I'm like, why did I need that polo? Why didn't I stick to? She had me these lovely like DKNY pieces that she'd got, and I don't know, crazy.
Am I right in saying as well that you were advised against going into a career in fashion?
Yes, I was either toying between either going to sport because I played ice hockey or doing fashion, which was more of what I loved. And when I was at sixth form, the fashion class wasn't really, it was maybe more art. And just my tutor sort of said, don't know if this is for you. Maybe we should look at changing courses. And I'm so glad that even at that age, I was like, no, do you know what? I'm not going to change courses. I'm going to change colleges. And that's when I found the Fashion Retail Academy. And then, all sort of went from there.
So talking of ice hockey, you're not talking about Romford Ice Rink, are you?
That is where I started, yes.
So tell us about that.
I went ice skating one time with my dad and brother, and I just could skate. I just got on and could skate. A woman asked if I wanted to be a figure skater that exact day. So I then went figure skating, got figure skating boots, but my brother started ice hockey and ice hockey came on after. And I said to my dad, that looks more fun. I want to do that. So then I actually did beginners ice hockey in my figure skate boots because I think my dad thought this isn't going to stick, but it did. So I ended up playing for the boys until I was 14. Then I played for women's and I played for England and Great Britain, under 18s.
That's amazing. Would you ever go back to it now?
Do you know what? It was really hard because as a women's sport, especially this is 10 years ago, women's sport just didn't have the backing. So I had to really choose between a career in fashion or playing ice hockey. And I didn't get paid to play ice hockey. So it just was a really hard, tough call. But I just had to focus on one or the other because women's ice hockey, you have the ice at midnight because that's the only time girls could get the ice, and there were so many factors to it. But so I played for Bracknell because they were top of the league and Romford didn't have a women's team, so there were so many different factors. But I used to make sure I had pink gloves, everyone else had like black or green, and I used to ask all the time if I could design the Great Britain tracksuit because it was ugly. I was declined multiple times.
Do you know what? I used to go to Romford Ice Rink all the time. I used to watch ice hockey. I used to have one of my friends' partners used to play, for Romford, which is, you've just brought back so many amazing memories. It used to be such an amazing place.
And it was, do you know what? I think that really helped me further along, having something competitive as I was growing up, because not that I'm competitive now, but I want to do well and I want things to, so I do think it is helpful to have.
I also think it's so scary to watch, like them. What they call? Do they call pucks? I don't even know what they're. Is it called a puck? Come on, girl. The speed in which they come at you. Like, I don't think I would ever be able to do something like that. Would you? You must have been petrified sometimes. Or not really?
No, I think where I'd done it from a young age, but I broke wrists, fractured collarbones, done a lot. But yeah, it was fun, really fun.
And you ended up working in-house at New Look, didn't you?
Yeah, so I straight away in college worked for Choice, which you all know, very Essex.
Not the Romford one.
No, I worked in head office behind Romford Dogs. So I worked there, which was amazing. And then I wanted to get back into high streets. And then I worked in-house at New Look for 3 years.
I almost think that you appreciate things more in life when you get them, when other people have said you can't do them or you shouldn't be doing them. Because imagine not being in fashion and like look at all the amazing things you've done and also all the amazing people you've helped as well. Because let's be honest, you do help a lot of people.
That's so true. And I think as well, it's so important that if you know and feel in your heart that that's what you should do, you shouldn't really let anyone else tell you or stop you. And it does definitely feel better when you get to that stage. But that's why I started, because I've got a styling school where I teach younger people to become stylists. And it's because I think there's this stigma of the devil wears Prada, fashion is scary, and you have to be a certain person to be in fashion, and you really don't. You just have to have an eye for it and love it.
Probably a silly question, but do you find it hard styling yourself or do you find that easy?
Do you know, it's a hard one because I find it easy to just get dressed. But what I do find hard is if I'm out shopping and I see something I love, I'm like, oh, but Kate's got a holiday coming up, so she probably needs it. Or, oh, that would look really lovely on Ferne. And then I'm like, okay, I have to sacrifice for them.
You're talking about Kate Ferdinand, I'm guessing, right? I would never have thought that actually, because it's like buying someone a Christmas present and then wanting to keep it yourself, but you can't because it's for them. So do you once they've worn their stuff once, do you then wear it after?
No. Do you know what? I've really built up with my clients to be very sustainable in the sense of we aren't doing that wear it once thing anymore. I know it was definitely a big thing before, but I'm getting to the point where we're building capsule wardrobes, whether that be, I mean, Kate did have this and she wore it and then I was like, I am still going to get it.
Is that the jacket you've got on now?
Yeah. And I actually wore it to a fitting with her the other day and she was like, I recognise that. I was like, yes, I styled you in that.
Love that.
So you do, because obviously you all have the same sort of style and that's why we work together. It's such a collaboration that you're in line with each other. So you're going to want to wear the same things.
When you take on a new client, or even I suppose if they're not new clients, like how do you go about styling them in the first place? Do you just look up who they are online and then put like mood boards together? How does it actually work?
It's so hard when you style someone for the first time. The only way I can describe it is if you go in Zara for yourself, for example, and you pull out so many things, you're like, love that. And then you go in the fitting room and like either nothing or one thing. It's a bit like that. I'm going in a bit, I don't know what they're going to like. I don't know what mood they're going to be. Sometimes you can be really happy, love everything. Sometimes you can have had a bad day. So I try and do a mood board. I always look for a A-list celebrity in LA who I think have got the same body type, same colourings, and sort of look at that for reference and be like, I think you could be here. This is the style I'd go for, and sort of do it by that. And then also ask any questions like colours you hate, body parts you love to show off, body parts you don't love to show. And then we sort of go from there. And, there's points where when you grow with a client, you can push it. Like someone might say, I really hate my arms. But you can get to a point where you've worked together so long that you can be like, go on, we can have the arms out this once.
And who was the first person? Like, who was your first celeb client to style?
When I was at Choice, I did a Results with Lucy Meck shoot. But my very first ever celeb shoot was Lethal Bizzle and Wiley.
What for? For like a music video?
For a music video. They got it wrong, it was called. And obviously for me, this was like so bizarre because I'd never done anything like this before. I completely winged it.
Real.
And I was just in this room putting them in jeans and jackets and hats, and it was crazy. So that was my first celeb experience. That was fun. Really fun.
When you're sort of creating red carpet looks, is that really difficult? Because I'd like to think at some point, in terms of press, it's going to start getting a little bit nicer and, it's not just about how bad someone looks and let's just annihilate someone for the dress they're wearing, because that's just mean. I hate that culture anyway. But I suppose you have to really think about what you're putting someone in, because of things being see-through. Like I never forget, I went to oh God, I'm gonna go and stand it, but I went to an awards night about a year ago and I bloody didn't do the bend over test. I don't know if that is even a thing with you, but apologies to everyone. But normally if I'm wearing like especially dark colours, I'll like bend over in the mirror in sunlight, direct sunlight, to see if it's see-through, and I didn't do it, and my butt, yeah, it was not a good idea. I mean, no one cares about me. But do you have to, how do you get around things like that? Because when the paps are shooting, it's quite dangerous.
Yeah, and I think that's something that I don't think people who just call themselves stylists sometimes, I don't think they realise all those things. You really have to think about, if you're going on a talk show, we need to check if you can sit down. If you're going to be in a car for an hour before you get to the red carpet, does the outfit crease? There's all these things that you have to think about. Is, you know, taping you in, all of that. But I find red carpets much harder now as well. I don't know if there's a lot more talent going. I think when I first started, there was more brands open to loaning for things as well. Whereas now there's so many people and there is so much pressure around it. And I've heard a stylist in LA say that they don't care if they're on the worst dress list because at least it's pushing boundaries and people are talking about it. So I now live by that. So I'm like, okay,
that's even really interesting.
Yeah, even if people hate it, who cares? And do you know who's amazing with that, Ferne? We both have always said, like, if we love it and we want to try something different, who cares? Because fashion is so subjective, isn't it? It's personal.
And also that person that's put whoever it is in, you know, online or in an article, that's just their single opinion.
Exactly.
And some of the most wackiest outfits, a lot of the celebs in LA, like you're saying, some of the big music shows and big fashion shows, their outfits, I mean, I'm not going to Tesco's in that, and they're making it on the good list. Do you know what I mean? So you're so right, actually. That's a really nice way of looking at it. Even if you end up on the worst list, who cares?
And I know how much work stylists have to put in, and I know there's been a background to it. So I think, well, it's nice when people dress different and have a bit of something about them rather than just doing the safe dress. That sometimes the safe dress is perfect and depends on the occasion, but it's nice to push it a bit.
You're talking about Ferne McCann, right? So how did you guys actually meet?
I actually slid in the DMs.
Amazing. Yeah.
So what happened was she commented on a few of my pictures on Instagram and she just wrote, love this outfit. And my friend went, just message her. And when I say I had no clue what, I said to her, if you need a stylist, I'd love to work with you. I didn't know what that meant. I didn't know what that even was going to be. I was a fashion stylist. I was doing photo shoots for brands and, you know, I had no idea. But I was like, okay, I'm just going to do it. And we met and we just got on. Like, Sunday's my goddaughter. We've become best friends, which is amazing. And it is crazy. And this is what I always tell people. Just message people because you really never know where it will end up.
Well, you guys are basically family now.
We spent Christmas together.
That actually melts my heart. Not to put you under pressure, but just looking at me right now, in terms of colour palette, how would you style me personally? And you can say, rip everything off that I'm wearing right now and start again.
As soon as I got on the call, I was about to say, oh, she's wearing the colour of the season. Button yellow.
I've only got one yellow top. I did have to really think about talking to you today. I was like, right, what colours are in? How sad is that? I woke up at 5 this morning,
well,
I'm getting a blooming yellow top out.
But yellow looks great on a blonde as well.
How would you style me? Because I like wearing black. I'm very much a plain black girl because I do feel like, I don't know, I just feel like that colour suits me. But what would you do with me?
Well, I think black is chic and safe and everyone feels comfortable in black. So no matter what, everyone always looks good in black. But I think you would look really good in all these softer tones and the pastels. But I think you can play around with fashion a bit and have fun with it. I don't think you need to be too safe.
All right, I'll take that from you. I will take that. Thank you. In terms of like giving anyone else like simple tips or hacks, do you know what? Maybe like staple pieces in a wardrobe, because like you're saying, a lot of people now are working towards just having the essential staple pieces in their wardrobe and not just quick fashion and, you know, buying things for the sake of it and never wearing it again. So what items would you say is essential to have in your wardrobe if you can only have a few?
A blazer is great because that can be transitioned all year round. You can wear it over a dress, over jeans. You can, you know, really dress it up or down. A good basic tee is really important because, again, you can put that with your jeans. Great jeans that you can wear with a heel, with a boot, with a sandal. I actually think it's nice to get a few shades of jeans though. So you've got a light wash, maybe an indigo, and then a black or grey. And then, yeah, it is really about playing around with basics. And then you can have fun with your accessories, I think. So don't worry so much about having forever accessories. That's where you can have your fad pieces and play around a bit more. And I think what's really important is find your colour palette and almost look in your wardrobe and have a bit of a uniform where, though, you know, everything can sort of fits together.
Oh, that's cool. So like do it in like almost like colour palette order.
Yeah, and then you know that you've not got anything. So you go and buy, for example, say a neon green becomes fashionable. But where does that fit into your wardrobe and does it really work? Whereas you could just buy a bag and use it a few times and it can sort of work in. But if you're getting a bright green blazer, is that going to fit into your wardrobe? Or bright green trouser or whatever?
In terms of people that you haven't styled yet, but you would love to, who's on your dream list?
Someone like Zendaya would be amazing because I just love that she does the whole, well, I guess a bit like Ariana and Cynthia did for Wicked. They do that whole like costume dressing where they really fit the character and do a whole narrate. You know, when she done challenges, she wore the Wimbledon, you know, she wore the heels with the tennis balls. And I think something like that you could do for their press tour would be amazing. Margot Robbie for Barbie. Having something like that would be fun. Where you've got a bit more of a story.
Yeah, that would be amazing. You would smash that out the park. That's what we need to get you on a big movie next time. Come on, sign her up.
I think that's what's hard about UK styling in comparison. You always look at LA and you think, wow, but they have more of everything's got a story, whereas a lot of my clients are doing the school run or doing very normal day-to-day things that you don't necessarily style them for. And I'm sure the women of LA also do that. But they always have to be going somewhere glamorous or there's so much more opportunity there.
What's your favourite red carpet look that you've created, do you think? And who for?
Oh, that's a hard one. Every time I do it, I'm like, this is my best yet. This is my favourite. Done Ferne for the Olivier Awards and it was a real last minute and we got her in a Gallia, which was stunning. And we actually put an orange tie around her.
That was this year, wasn't it?
Yeah, that was. And it looked so stunning. That was fun. And it was last minute. So sometimes that's easier because there's less pressure.
Do you know what, actually? I remember seeing that photo of her and thinking she looked completely different to what I've seen her in before. Like, she really stood out. And I don't know what it was about the style of the dress but there was just something really special about the look, actually.
That was really fun. I did Kate and Rio for the Brits and we got Rio a bespoke suit made and that was fun. That was great.
You mentioned Rio Ferdinand. In terms of like styling men, do you style a lot of men? And if so, like what's the differences between styling guys to girls? Like, are they more perceptive? How is it different or is it the same?
So I kind of started by doing men's, like I said, like Lethal Bizzle and choice was 80% men's. So I started in a men's world. Men are probably a lot easier to dress in the sense of they're not too picky with things and they're actually usually like just very grateful in a way. You know, I styled Jamie Lang recently for a red carpet and he must have texted me thank you about 10 times. Just really lovely. And I think if you give them something that makes them feel good, they really feel good in it and you can push them a bit more. But there's not too much different. Men's is simpler, isn't it? A t-shirt, jeans, shirt, blazer. There's not as much to it. Women have different things going on through life. They change. You know, I've been through my women clients from them starting their careers to having babies to, you know, pre-baby body, post-baby, getting married, all these different stages in life. Whereas I think men are quite consistent.
Are there any guys that you would love to style that you haven't already?
Do you know what? I was really lucky. I'd done Pete Wicks recently for a show and I'd done a few bits with him and he's really fun because he pushes it with his style. So that's quite fun.
I love him.
And he's happy to wear something a bit out there. So that's really lovely. I don't know men's wise. I mean, obviously Harry Styles would be brilliant because he completely pushes it, doesn't he?
What would you do with Harry Styles?
I don't know. Sometimes I think he could look good in anything, couldn't he, probably? I did love when he wore the black suit with the big lapels and I felt like that was something I'd use for inspo forever.
How would you describe your own personal style?
I don't feel like I have a definite style. I think I really change it up. But I'd say colourful, tiny bit edgy, but then also quite classic, if that even makes sense.
No, it completely makes sense. And do you have like an item of clothing that is your comfort blanket where you're like, do you know what, if I put this on, I'm good, whether it's to hide stuff or just to have a lovely day?
I do love a co-ord. I'm such a sucker for a co-ord because especially where I'm working, and I'm always mixing, like on the floor, doing, tying shoes and messing around. But I feel like a cold. This is actually a cold. You can look a bit more glamorous and like you've made an effort, but you're also comfy and haven't made an effort at all.
And there's less things to think about. I'm the same with you. A cold is just life made, whether it's like day-to-day stuff or going out. If I can find a good cold for evenings or anything, because then you've only got to think about your shoes and your face, really.
Always about the face. Yeah, it's easy. And I've got this ring that I've had since I was 18. And I just can't not wear it. I have to have it on all the time.
Did someone buy it for you? Is it got like a special...
aunt, yeah, my aunt gave it to me for my 18th birthday, and sadly she's no longer here. So it's just something special that I just have never took off. And I think if I don't ever say you have to take it off for any reason, I'm like, oh God, no, can't leave the house.
Feels weird. You've been to some amazing events, haven't you? Like you went to the Pride of Britain Awards. You've been to so many galas. Like, what's been your favourite event to attend yourself? So not necessarily as a stylist, or maybe it is as a stylist.
Pride of Britain, I know you just mentioned that, but because I got to speak to everyone on the carpet about what they're wearing. And as a stylist, I love hearing why people wore things. And even my own clients, I love to see their final little, even if you put them in a whole outfit, it's the final things that they do, the little extra touches that really... So it was lovely to be there and be a part of it, not just as a stylist. Because normally those events, I'm like styled however many people and I'm literally absolutely shattered. I've got my hair on top of my head. I'm probably wearing a cold, but not a very nice one. And I'm like, oh my God, I couldn't even think of anything worse than going to the event. So it was really lovely to go as a guest.
And did you style yourself for that?
Yes. Which is hard.
I was just going to say, is there anyone that you would put your trust in to style you?
Do you know what there is? There's a few of my friends who are stylists and like Kelvin or Ray, I'd really love to work with. They're like friends of mine, so I would trust them to put me in something amazing. But it's hard because how can you, if I'm a stylist, I should be styling myself.
Yeah, it's like if you do hair for a living, ain't it? We're all going to be looking at their hair like we're looking at you. And yeah. It shouldn't be, not judging, I say that in like a light sense, but people are going to, because we want to see what you look like yourself and what bits you pick out for yourself. Have you ever had a wardrobe malfunction?
Many, and it was my second red carpet, but first NTAs with Ferne, and we got a dress made. It turned up on the day, which now I never allow for. And when it arrived, her whole boobs were out.
Oh no!
And it was a white two-piece, so it was, the top just was not. And I, at this point, was really new to styling. I completely was winging it as a celebrity stylist when I began, because I did not plan to become a celebrity stylist at all. So I was like, what do? I have no idea. But I always try and stay really calm in front of people. So I pretended to Ferne, I was absolutely fine. Went outside, Googled and found a local dry cleaners that had a seamstress in them. Got a cab there, got them to chop the sleeves and put this extra band in.
No!
It was now 3 hours till the carpet, but she was getting her makeup done. It's white, so we can't keep trying it on and off. So I was like panicking. It was awful. But we made it work and she felt amazing and it was fine. But lesson learned. I feel like I have a lot of lessons as a stylist and now I'm so overly prepared. And then another time I was out with my friends wearing a pair of heels and the heel just snapped off.
Oh my God, there's nothing worse.
Which was not cool.
What did you do?
Well, luckily I drove that night and as the stylist I am, I had about 10 pairs of shoes in the car. So I was absolutely fine. They didn't completely match the look, but we was fine. It could have been worse.
I had a friend of mine back in the day whose heel broke on a night out, but she's such a fun personality. She was wild anyway. She stayed in the shoes all night. Honestly, I still don't know how she done this day. She had one with a heel, one without.
No.
Yeah, she did, and she smashed it. I can see her. She had a banging outfit on as well. You're also a long-time supporter of cancer research, which is amazing. How did you get into working with them?
So I really, really randomly, I've always wanted to do something with cancer research because I've lost quite a few family members through it. But my brother plays ice hockey and so does a woman from Cancer Research, son. And she got chatting to my dad and then we met up and they just asked me to open their Marylebone store. But Molly, who worked for cancer research at the time, she was like head of marketing. She found out and then got in touch, and we ended up just doing this whole career. And now we've got Behind the Finds.
I was just going to ask you about that. Yeah, so what's that?
Well, you need to be my next guest on it.
Yes is the answer.
So I'd love to have you on that. So basically it's just raising awareness, because I am not, as a stylist, I'm not fully the most sustainable shopper in the world. I do shop for like high street fashion, but it's just being a bit more mindful and learning about what you can find in a charity shop and just teaching, because I'm learning as well. You know, I didn't realise some of the brands you can get. You can get a Chanel bag and you can get so many amazing pieces. And I just think it's raising that awareness. So we're just getting different people on to speak about how you can shop charity and how much it does help. And then I'm also doing the Breast Cancer Now show, which is so much fun. It's a fashion show where women and men walk who either have breast cancer or recovered from breast cancer, and they walk the fashion show, and it's just such a beautiful event.
Unreal. And do you style everyone for that then?
No, I don't actually. They have an amazing stylist who's worked on it for years, but I just get involved in chatting to the women before and after, because
beautiful.
Yeah, it's really lovely.
And you have launched something with Kate as well. You mentioned Kate Ferdinand earlier. So is it Kallis? Is that how you pronounce it? I'm guessing Kate and Ellis, right? Merged.
We spent so long trying to think of the name. And we was actually sat with Rio, and he was like, Kallis. And we was like,
great.
Perfect. Perfect.
So tell us what's all that about.
So Kallis really came from a place where Kate is like myself as well. We both really love doing anything giving and, you know, charitable. And I kept getting messages from women who were saying they're really struggling, but they want nice clothes. Where can they get cheap clothes from? And I thought, we don't realise how amazing, you know how it feels when you put on a lovely outfit, what it makes you feel like. When you go shopping, they call it retail therapy for a reason. And we just realised there's so many people that don't get that opportunity and don't get the chance to just go and shop and have nice things. And we didn't want to become a charity, because obviously I think that's a whole other thing. But we thought we would set up an event that can team up with charities. So it's all about empowering people to feel good. So we'll team up with councils or charities and just give people experiences. So we've got something coming up where they'll have their nails and hair done. But it's just about giving back and making people feel good.
How do you think the industry's changed from like when you first started working in it to like now? Do you think it's changed in a positive way, or are there like things within the industry that you think still needs work?
I think there's a bit of both. I think everyone's becoming a lot more aware about what is sustainable and what's important and, you know, what really matters. And I think that's really a big positive. But then I also think social media has changed the fact that people only wear things once, and once you've been seen in something, and everyone has sort of started to believe they have to dress a certain way because that's what works on Instagram, or, you know, there's that side of it as well. So I think it's sort of like pros and cons, but I think definitely people are really being more mindful with, and Gen Zs love a charity shop.
Yeah, too right. I've got this pink suit that I've worn, I don't even know how many times now, and I don't give a damn. I'm like, I love it, and what's the point of like throwing stuff away for the sake of it? Me personally, I've never really been fussed about wearing something once and never wearing it again, because I'm like, if it's a great outfit. In fact, this is really bad, and I do know that, but if I've gone out like for a couple of hours on a Sunday and have only worn an outfit for a few hours, I'll wear it on the Monday as well to work.
I think that's
do you actually?
Yeah.
Nothing smells. I smell fresh, but I'm like, that's a really great outfit. Why am I not going to wear that again?
I'm not wasting that. People need to see this. And it's a different set of eyes.
This is a fresh top, by the way, today that I'm wearing, Ellis. Don't judge me on this one.
It's the same one on every podcast. No, I think it's definitely become a thing where people are happy that or even like, I love people asking how to wear things in different ways, and people are experimenting a bit more, aren't they? I think it's nice. It has got a lot nicer.
What item of clothing have you got that if you got a call now and someone was like, right, no pressure, but you're going to the biggest event ever in the entire world and you need to look $1 million, what have you got, like a staple piece in your wardrobe that just makes you feel amazing?
I love a sample sale. I absolutely love a sample sale. I always hunt them down. And I've got a David Comer jumpsuit that is just a black jumpsuit. It's got a little cutout. So if I had a last minute and I needed to, that would be the go-to. But realistically, if it was the event of the year, I would want to go out and find something new.
Next time I see you in that, I'm going to be like, yep, she got the call 5 minutes ago. And have you got an item of clothing or an accessory that you would hand down to somebody else? I know you mentioned your beautiful ring, which is lovely, that you always wear. Is there something that you would then pass down?
Probably my Chanel bag, because I bought it for myself when I was 30.
Girl. Which one is it and what colour, please? We need all the details.
It's blue, because this is my thing. I was like, okay, I'm a fashion stylist. I need colour. I need something a bit fun. So it's a pale blue, and it's just this classic shape flat bag. It was one of them things. I remember when I first started working at Choice, I was like, when I get my first big amount of money, I'm going to buy myself a Marc Jacobs bag. And that was my dream. And then I realised Marc Jacobs bags aren't that too expensive, especially with my 50% discount.
Do you know what? Little things like that. I say it on air all the time, actually, but you need to treat yourself, whether it's, I don't know, even down to a packet of sweets. Like, I feel like we should all set little goals or just be kind to ourselves, ain't it? Whether that is like treating yourself to a nice bag or some sweets or go and get your hair done or whatever you can afford within, you know, within your means, because it's so important.
Oh, and I asked for vouchers and things to save up towards it. I mean, I just work towards it. But I do think you're so right. And I actually do this thing now. There's a website and I write a letter to myself, and then you get it a year later. And it's sort of like I set my goals and what I hope's happened in the year.
That's so nice. For last year's, how much did you tick off that you actually achieved?
Quite a bit, but I feel like last year, you know, sometimes you just have a year that's a bit you just sort of, and I feel like this is the year. I've already started ticking off things this year, but I think last year was just maybe that could be my
that's it. We'll call them my years. What advice would you give to anyone listening right now? Actually, 2-piece advice. The first one, what advice would you give to someone that is maybe not feeling very confident and not really knowing where they fit or what looks good on them? What advice would you give to them, first of all?
I would say experiment with things, try different things. I'd say definitely as you're out and about, if someone says to you, you look nice today, keep in mind what colour you was wearing, what outfit you had on, and just always take note of those like little wins and sort of put that into your wardrobe. And also, there's no harm in trying different things. And if it makes you, I always say this to my clients, if you feel good in it, then you'll look good. So it doesn't matter if it's not the latest item or the biggest trend right now. If you feel good in it, it will come across and you'll look good. So I just think there shouldn't be many rules in fashion. Just enjoy it. And fashion's meant to be fun. You're meant to enjoy getting dressed. Don't put pressure on, and definitely don't put pressure on what size things are, because nowhere is the correct size anymore.
True. And any advice to any upcoming stylists or people that, you know, that have no idea how to get into the industry? What advice would you give them?
I would say networking as much as you can. Find other, anyone who works in the industry, ask them if they need help, because what's the worst you're going to get? No reply or a no. I still get that. I still don't get replies. I still get told no. I got rejected on an email today. It still happens. So just putting yourself out there, because what's the worst that can happen? And speak to people. I think that's the biggest lesson I learned. And like you said, I was really shy. I wouldn't speak in a room. I'd never put my hand up. And I actually went to this talk, and this guy stood up and he was like, I cannot believe none of you have spoke to each other. You don't know what opportunities are in this room. You don't have to be the loudest person in the room, but just speak to people, because you just don't know where that conversation can take you.
And especially with like socials now and being online, everyone's so easily accessible. Like it's so easy to contact anyone, really. Like you said, even if you don't get a reply, there's no harm in DMing people and just putting a message out there, because like you said, you just never know. You never know.
I remember running up to Mark Hayes in Topshop once, and I was only in college, and I definitely was absolutely frightened out of my life. But I was like, I've just got to go and ask for his email, just because I've seen him. And the thing is, you go home and you regret it so much if you don't.
Yeah. I feel like everyone needs that element of regret. We sound quite similar, actually. If you're a shy person, you need to experience that, oh my God, I'm so gutted I didn't do it. Because I think once you get that feeling once, you never do it again. Doesn't matter how shy you are. Do you remember CD UK? The TV show on a Saturday with Cat Deeley?
Oh, I don't.
It
I'll
was-
have to have a look.
So it was basically like, it was like a Saturday morning show. It was amazing. Like, I used to love Cat Deeley, and I was only, I can't remember how old I was. I must have been like 14 maybe. And I was like freelancing for this magazine, and I was the shyest kid, like so shy. But I remember getting in there as like an audience member to see the UK. And when they'd like taken a break, I ran over to Cat to ask her if I could interview her. But I got stopped by the security. But it's not the point. I remember being so scared, but thinking if I hadn't have done that, you know, imagine I'd have got to her and they said yes, or you just don't know. You never know.
It's so much better to regret doing it than come home regret not.
For sure. And actually, we need to put this podcast out and send it to Cat Deeley because maybe we can finally get her on.
She'll be on it.
Right, thank you so much for today. Honestly, we want to, before you go, we want to do like a 60-second style sprint with you, if that's okay.
Amazing.
So it's like quick fire round.
Brilliant.
And we'll ask you as many questions as we possibly can.
Okay.
Leather or denim?
Denim.
Cardigan or blazer?
Blazer.
Sunglasses indoors?
No.
Bright colours or all black?
Oh, bright colours.
A now ex buys you a handbag that you absolutely love. Do you keep it or do you get rid of it?
Keep it.
High rise or low?
High rise. I'm over 30. It's got to be a high rise.
Linen or cotton?
Oh, cotton.
Casual or formal?
Formal.
Tights or bare legs?
Bare legs.
Do you like Crocs?
Yeah, they're all right.
Crossbody bag or tote bag?
Tote bag. I have a million.
I know what you're going to say to this, I think. Matching sets or mix and match?
Matching sets.
Cozy knitwear.
Oh, that's it! For clients, I won't do matching sets. I try and mix it up.
Not? Oh, I love you. Ellis, thank you so much for today. Honestly, it's been so interesting chatting to you. And like I said, I've been following you online. I'm sure lots of people listening have as well. And if they're not already, then how do we find you online?
Probably best Instagram, Ellis Ranson Kiss.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Thank you for having me. It's been so fun.